What's up? My name is Jeremy, and I'm a truck driver. I like to tell my story, like, how I got into truck driving. I was a forklift driver working for this company, and I used to see these truck drivers come in, box truck drivers, 16 wheelers, 18-wheeler truck drivers, big trucks, and I was like interested in it. I always kind of been interested in it, and I was asking them questions about what you need and what was the procedures and how much money they make. These was owner operators, so their checks was kind of big, and it was bigger than company drivers. And they were delivering to us, and we would unload them. So one day I started inquiring more information about it, and it's very intriguing to me. And I was like, I'm making like $600 checks, and I'm like, man, this ain't enough. And this was like 2018. I had moved to Indianapolis from Georgia, and I was up there, and so I just kept asking them. They had different methods and different ways they got their license and how they got into trucking. But my story is I'm gonna start with Snyder. I started with Snyder National in Indianapolis, Indiana. They had a program where you could train as you uh, work work get your license through their program. They had stopped and they had just started back, and they was recruiting people to come. So actually, on my way to work one day, I seen this girl. She was they had a testing route that went around my house in the area where I lived at. It was like and I was I think they stopped to get some fuel. I'm thinking they stopped to get some fuel, and I just asked. I said, "Hey man, how you got your CDL?" And she was like, "We're still in training, and they pay us while we're training." And I was like, "Oh," but it was only like making like $500 a week, and I was like, "Well, that's what I make now." And I worked overnight, so I was thinking like, "Well, I'm gonna work overnight, and I could go do the training in the daytime, so that'd be cool for me." So I called up Snyder Nationals, talked to a recruiter. It was like, "Yeah, we got plenty of jobs. How's your license? Can you pass a drug test?" I was like, "Yeah, I could pass a drug test because I wasn't smoking at the time." It's like my license clean. I always kept my license clean. And she told me what the requirements was. Can't remember who I talked to. It was like, we got this position for this camping wear position. They listed some more, some more, some more jobs, but I they was like, and it pays start out with what 48 cents a mile. I was like, yeah, that's because I was calling around in different companies and seeing who 48 cents a mile seemed pretty good starting off, and then they got 10 cents raised once this happened. Once you be there a certain amount of time. So I said, yeah, I'll take that. And but they was like, first you got to go get your permit. So I went up there. I passed all my permits first time, but I studied it. I used YouTube and the um, the manuals to study. I studied every day after work. Every day I studied constantly. Watched the YouTube videos over and over again. I listened to the audio book on YouTube. I played it every day. I got all the apps to take the practice test, and I just studied it and listened to it every day, every single day. The air brakes, combination vehicles, what was all? I can't remember every last one of them, but I just studied them every day. And then I went up there, took the test. I took every one of them I took. I passed, and I was shocked because I was passing them all. I didn't have to go back and take them again. I passed them all the first time. Tankers, I got them all at the same time, except for my hazmat. I got that years later. I I was surprised and I was happy when I passed. So after I passed, I had my permit. Uh, Called the recruiter, said, "Hey man, I got my permit, my license clean, and everything. Got an application, sent it in." And he was like, we're gonna have orientation on this date. I can't remember. It was probably in November because I got my license on November 19th or 14th, I think it was, one of the two. I got them on. But before that, I had a little bit of training before I went there. That's a whole nother story of me trying to get my license. But I had a little bit of training, and I when I got there, they gave us since I stayed there, I didn't have to get a hotel because they was offering a hotel. They gave us 3 meals a day, maybe two. I think it was 2 meals a day. Gave them a hotel, and they gave us what it was something else they gave us. Oh, that was later on. They gave us a rental car, but that was later on when we first got there. But other people stayed in the hotels, and it was a large group, and we all met up in the cafeteria. The facility was nice in Indiana. In Indiana, that facility in Indianapolis was really, really good. I loved it. They had a bar. They had a kitchen. You you could buy something to eat. They cook it right there in front of you. They had a TV room, laundry room. Uh, Everybody was nice there. I mean, I love that. I love Snyder National. I really do. If I ever want to go back over the road, I'll go back to Snyder because they were real good company, in my opinion. So most people don't like them because the pay rate, but I mean, it's what you make it to me. But when I got there, first day, it's paperwork. We signing paperwork. They're going over the rules. It's been so long. Can't remember everything, but they had a certain set of rules what you could and couldn't do. And I still was working my night job, so it was a bonus for me because I studied. I was going to work at night, going there in the daytime, and and they introduced us to the instructors, the classroom instructors, and the outdoor instructors, and it was a lot of people. It was a lot. Some people came that already had their license, and they were just coming for the job because you got to do orientation even when you get hired. So I might be skipping some stuff, going a little bit fast. I'm just going off the top of my memory. I think we did the drug test. I think everybody went and did their drug test. Can't remember if they had hair follicles there or not, but I know we did a drug screen and went and did my. Oh, we did the drug screen there. We did the drug screen there. They had their I think yeah, they had the nurse come there, and we did a drug screen in there. Did the drug screening, passed that, and went over paperwork. We went over how to do logs, paper logs, e-logs. We introduced everybody. It was females, males. There was people from everywhere, from different places. Most of the people that there was from the Midwest. With some people from the South there, but they got a Snyder in Atlanta and in Charlotte. So I think depends on where you are. Can't remember if all of them had a training facility. Each Snyder had a training facility or not, but uh, it was very it was good for me. And we got paid to go. So most places you got to pay to get your CDLs, and I don't think I even had to sign a contract to stay with them. It was the beginning, so they had just started back. So I don't think they was making us sign stay there a year to be with them. But most companies make you sign a contract to stay there with a year. But I did. I did stay with them a year. It was a little bit longer than a year actually. And everybody got their assignments or their job for what they was got hired there. Most people already came there, and everybody was making a little bit lower than what I was making because it was a Camping World account. I never knew what Camping World was, but the recruiter explained to me that I would pick up in Lebanon, Indiana, which is like 30 miles outside of Indianapolis. Um, that's where the Camping World DC was. So, but I stayed like 10 minutes from the terminal. But I was kind of nervous because I've never really been in the, I didn't think I could do it. And it was in November, it was cold, and it usually snow in Indianapolis. It's starting to snow around that time from the south, so I'm not really used to driving in the snow. But I've been there about 2 years, I think, maybe about 2 years during that time, so I can drive my car in the snow, learning how to drive the car in the snow. Uh, but yeah, uh, uh, so we 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 we're doing the first. It's I think it's like a 5 week program, if I can remember. It's 5 weeks. We do 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the facility, learning how to drive the truck, going over the maneuvers, learning the course, learning how to do the test route. We practicing that every day. We're going over the rules and regulations, the FMC rules and regulations, learning about truck driving, learning about Snyder, learning about the e-logs, and their I think they use what did they use? Science. Forgot what the e-logs is called. Science something. It's the same one that we use at my job today, so I was familiar with that. Um, so we in a group. We in groups. I think of some people from St. Louis, Chicago, Kentucky, different places. This is a lot of people from Chicago there. I think it was another guy that I knew from another place. He was at another trucking thing. He transferred over. He left there and came there, but he left after he got his CDLs. I left there before I got my CDLs, which is a good thing, and I'll go back to that later on. But I end up we going on the range where we're learning the how to back the truck, how to back it, and how to do the test, because you got parallel parking, offset to the left, offset to the right, and straight back. That's on the course at the facility. So by me being at the other place, I had a little bit of knowledge of how to maneuver the truck a little bit. So everybody was looking at me like, I already know how to drive, but nah, it wasn't like that. I just knew some of the maneuvers and I could do that. And they were struggling with it, and everything was automatic over there. Everything at Snyder's automatic, no manuals. But I practiced in the manual before. So we practicing and we learning. So my confidence level is kind of high because I'm doing good and everybody else is struggling. So I'm hitting it and I'm getting it. So we do that for about 2 or 3 weeks. Classroom, uh, learning how to do the paper logs, learning how to do the ELD, and we go back out and we do the course. So and then we did it for about 3 weeks, and then once you do that, you go 2 weeks over the road with a trainer. So I end up being first. I had this dude that was this dude. I think he was from Chicago. I can't remember his name. Um, we we gave us a rental car. They was we partnered up. Everybody got into twos, and we ended up going to Ohio. Whitestown, Ohio. I think that's where it was. Whitestown, Ohio. And we got there. As soon as I get settled in, I get a call. It's like, hey, we're gonna need you to swap with somebody because they're not getting along, or something. I don't know if they wouldn't get along, or the person didn't like each other. So I had a roommate at the hotel. This hotel was nice, really, really nice. Had a microwave, refrigerator. It was nice. It was, and so the other town was probably like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes from each other. So I got the rental car, and the other dude got the rental car, and we swapped. So I ended up being with this girl. Her name was Jelly, but she was like studish, kind of like she was like a stud. She liked the girls, but Jelly was real cool. I'm saying Jelly was cool. Uh, but then I had my own, my own hotel, and she had a rental car too. So we both had our own rental cars, if I can remember. Or I think no, She didn't have a rental car. I had the rental car, and he took the rental car, that the dude that she swapped with. Nobody didn't like the dude, but he was cool with me. But while we was at the facility, while we was at the terminal, he was just aggravating. You know, one of the type of people that just know everything. They think they know everything. Don't do this, don't do that. My daddy drive a truck, that type of stuff. Um, so, and she's the type of person, she like, nah, she can't, she wasn't feeling them. So she was like, I don't want to, be with this dude. But I don't understand what the real problem was, because she had her own hotel. But we had to spend a lot of time together, because while we were the trainer, we gonna be with him in his truck. In the town that we stayed in Ohio, he had like a local route. So what he would do was, I can't remember the name of the town, but we would go up in Ohio, maybe Columbus. I'm thinking maybe it would be Columbus. It's a Mitsubishi plant. We pick up these drive shafts, and we would deliver them in Kentucky. So the route was probably a 10-hour route, 4 hours up, 4 hours back. Come and we go up, pick up the truck. I mean, pick up the drive shafts. I think it was already loaded. It's like a drop and hook. Drop off an empty trailer, pick up the loaded, take it to Kentucky. Uh, they unload us, and we come back. Well, me and her would take turns driving. One time, somebody would drive up, somebody would drive uh, down, or we would just swap out. And we was learning, but Jelly would just haul behind. She was just floored, and I'm like, I to this day I don't like riding with people in the truck, but we trained, so it was three of us, and she was good. She could whoop, but we still hadn't really backed yet. So she struggled with backing, and I kind of did too. I mean, we both struggled in the beginning, the first week, and but she was very competitive, so it kind of made me step my game up, because she was like the type, she didn't like to lose, and she did not like to lose. She didn't like to come in second place. She didn't like that. If he gave me a compliment, she gonna go harder to shoot. She just that type. And I'm like, I don't care, man. I'm just trying to learn how to, just trying to learn how to drive. But she was just so competitive. But I'm glad that I trained with Jelly, because that made me step my game up. It made me want to be better. It made me want to be better, and not just settle for whatever. So we would do this every day, uh, for about 2 weeks. But maybe yeah, 2 weeks. It seemed like it was longer. I guess it was because I think it was something. I think it was a holiday or something on the weekend. It was something that made it seem like it was stretched out longer than 2 weeks. But when it was my turn to drive, I was more a conservative driver. I kind of like, I did the speed limit, but I just did like probably 5 miles under the speed limit, because I'm just getting used to you can feel the wind in Ohio in the wintertime. You can feel the wind hitting the truck. Woo, woo, woo. In the trailer, you could just feel it. And it was doing construction. I think it was on 75 during that time. And when you come out of Cincinnati and you're getting ready to get into, you're coming out of Kentucky. So as soon as you come out of Kentucky, you're hitting Cincinnati, into Ohio. And right there, it's like a bridge used to, Mississippi River or Ohio River or something. It's like, I don't know if it's, can't remember, but it's the river and it's the bridge. And right there, it was just doing all that construction in there. And she would blow through this. I'd be like, listen, let me drive back and you drive there. We'd get up like 5 in the morning. We have to meet him, leave the hotel. We have to leave the hotel, and we have to meet him at the truck stop. So I just get my coffee, and we get up by like 4, me and her. She had her own room. I had mine. I get up at 4 and meet him at the truck stop. And he would come with his lunch and stuff already. Can't remember the trainer name. Is a white man, kind of heavy set. He'd been with Snyder for some years. And we'll meet him there. And we'll take turns who's gonna drive first, and we'll log in, and we'll do all of that, and we probably get to the plant about 6 o'clock. Probably get Mitsubishi about 6 o'clock. Probably make it down to the place in Kentucky. I can't remember the time, but 4 hours from that, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 12, about 1 o'clock, and then I would drive back. But I remember she would get so mad, like when we learned how to back, if I backed in better than her, or we get into a parking place and we have to swing wide and get into a parking place to wait to get unloaded. And she would just get mad because he'll say, trainer be like, all right, now drop, swing wide, swing wide, swing wide. You can't turn it like a car. You gotta swing wide so you and let your trailer follow you into the parking spot. And there was a lot of the concepts we couldn't really get in the beginning because we just had to get used to that and get used to doing it. And I say more repetitive. The more times you do stuff, the more repetitive and the more easy it gets. And even with the backing, I remember when I was on the yard learning how to back, I could not offset. I pull up to the straight line and back. That's when you have to get your trailer into the other lane. I couldn't do that. I always hit the cone. Boom, boom, boom. I always hit the cones. But then once we got in the field, we start learning how to maneuver the trailer a little bit better. And she would get pissed if I got a compliment or he said something to me and didn't say nothing to her. She would just be over there pissed the fuck off. She wouldn't say excuse me. She wouldn't even talk the whole time. Oh, she have attitude. But we both started getting it. But she would learn faster than me. Boom, she would pick up a concept really, really quick. But she would hog tail. I'm talking about. She put her feet down. Now she'd be in the hammer lane. I'd be like, Lord, let her slow down. I I hate riding with somebody when they're in the truck. I just can't stand it. But I started to get used to it more often, and then but when I started driving, the right side of my tandems used to cross the line, and my trainer would be like, you're in the other lane, you're in the other lane. I'd be looking in the mirror like, man, my tire ain't in the other lane, man, you tripping. If it touched the lane, he'll say something. He'll be over to sleep. He'll just wake up. You in another lane. I'm like, man, you been asleep this whole time. You ain't see that jelly plus I laughing. But yeah, so we did that for about 2 weeks. Plenty of stories about it, and our off time. But after that, after those 2 weeks, we go back and we get ready to take our test. We get to take our test, and it's the pre-trip. And yeah, that's going to that. You have to do the pre-trip. After you do your pre-trip, you have to do the course. It's the straight back, offset, and parallel park, which we really didn't do too much parallel parking in the field, but we it's some it's some docks where it's similar to it. So, you know, we um we got a little bit of practice in, and so come time for us to take our test. We know we know our pre-trip pretty good, so we just fly through it because me and her take our test the same day. Other people were coming back, they were taking the test. They was asking, our field instructor was asking, all right, now who want to go take their test? And nobody didn't want to go. Everybody was quiet. So I said, I'll go. And then Jelly was like, I'll go too. Because we want to hurry up because Thanksgiving was coming and we wanted to be done before Thanksgiving. And so it started snowing. Damn, it's snowing. We're going to take our test in the snow. It was snowing pretty hard. It was like 3 inches, 3 inches of snow. Um, we doing our test at the same time. We doing our pre-trip. Boom, we passed the pre-trip. We doing our field test. So I mean, we're doing our backing. So you got to pass the backing before you can do your driving test. You got to do that first. So if we after steps, each step we know if this person passed this step. If they pass the course and they get in there driving and they get ready to do their driving test, we know they're gonna get it. We know you're gonna pass because the driving test is easy. You just really just drove around. And as long as you did what you did in practice, you would typically pass. But everybody was failing the backing. So me and Jelly, she over there, and I could see her as she's in the test right next to me, and I'm in the she's on the left, I'm on the right, and I can see her. She just whipping through there. And then I think you get so many. I can't remember how many times you get a point system. And she failed, and I failed. We both failed, but it snowed, and you can't see the lines. They cleaned it up a little bit, but I ain't even gonna blame it on snow because the second time it snowed again when we got ready to do our test the second time. I think we did it the next day. I'm thinking when we got back from filling, our field instructor, his name is Jerry. He was fucking, excuse me, he was pissed. He was pissed. He said, I know you know better. You supposed to pass the first time. It's like he was like, he went in on me because it's like, I sent y'all out there and y'all both failed. He was pissed. I was pissed that he was pissed. Shelly was like, dang, she was pissed off too. She hate losing. She was like, I can't believe I failed. I can't believe I failed. I was like, man, all right, we'll pass the next time. So next time came up. I got my pre-trip done. I hit straight back. I pull up. I hit the cone. Bam! I see the cone fall out. The instructor, the dude that's taking the test, he was like, all right. He was just, you get so many points. And he was like, all right, don't worry about it. Just calm down. Let's do it over. Pull back up to the line. Pull back up to the line. I got it in there. When I got right back, I bumped the cone, but it didn't fall. He was like, don't worry about it. Come on. Let's go to the next. When he said that, I passed. I knew I was going to pass it. Went to the parallel parking. I'm thinking I'm going to struggle with the parallel parking. So you got to pull up to the line, and then you got to back up and parallel park. But you got to get your whole trailer inside the lines. You get in your front. Nothing can be hanging out on the lines. And you got to step out of the truck properly to make sure you're in the lines. If you jump out that truck or get out the wrong way, that's an automatic fail. If you don't get out in the proper way, turn around, grab both of the handles, bars, and step down, you're gonna fail if you jump out the truck. Because a lot of people, they get so excited once they get inside the lines and they pass, they jump out the truck like, I won, I got it. Don't do that. Get out the truck the way that he showed you properly, doing your test. So I get out the truck properly to make sure I'm in the lines. I'm like, dang, I'm scared to tell. You got to give him a thumbs up to let him know that you're in correctly. Gave him a thumbs up. He nodded. I was like, yeah. He's like, come on, let's do the road test. But it was still snow on the ground too. So I'm nervous because it's snow on the ground. So we pull out of the facility. We go around the route. My heart beat boom, boom, boom. Because it's a it's a it's a part where you have to get out the truck. You got to name it, your combs. Like you got to tell them what to do in an emergency. If you got to pull over, like when you get your combs out, and you got to explain it. It's been a while since I had to do it, so I had to explain to him that. And you can't cross the yellow line. It's a yellow line. When you get ready to make a turn, you can't go across that yellow line. And then if it's a 2-lane highway, if it's a 2-lane and you finna make a left turn, when we in the test route, you can't be in that inside lane. You have to be on the outside lane. When you're making a turn, everybody likes to get in that inside lane. If you do that, that's automatic fail. So this is a little bit of things in the drive that in the test route that you got to do. On my way back, I was like, oh, I ain't see him right now. No checks, nothing bad. Like I might be finna pass. I might be finna pass. Crossed the line into the terminal. He was like, well, you passed. I wanted to jump out that truck so bad, but I had to stay calm. And I knew Jelly, she was in front of me. And I knew once I seen her on the road, she passed because she went in the gate first, coming back from the test. I came right behind her, and we both passed. It was like one of the happiest days of my life. Yeah.